Have you ever had a conversation with your wife where you walked away thinking everything was fine, but later found out she was hurt or upset? You thought you listened, you nodded, you said, uh-huh, a few times, but somehow, she still felt unheard. It's one of the biggest communication gaps in marriage. Most men listen with their ears, but their wives are craving something deeper. They want to feel heard with your heart. And that difference between hearing and truly listening can change everything in your marriage. Because when a woman doesn't feel heard, she starts to feel unseen. And when she feels unseen, she begins to pull away. But when she does feel heard, when she feels like her husband genuinely gets her, it builds trust, connection, and emotional intimacy like nothing else. So today, we're talking about 5 powerful ways husbands can make their wives feel heard. These are simple, practical, and real steps that any man can start using today to create deeper communication and connection in his marriage. Let's get started. The first way to make your wife feel heard is to listen without fixing. Most men are wired to solve problems. When your wife tells you about her rough day or something that's bothering her, your first instinct is to help. You want to offer advice, solutions, or logical steps to make things better. But here's the thing, most of the time, she doesn't want you to fix it. She wants you to feel it with her. Picture this. She says, "Work was so stressful today. My boss dumped a last-minute project on me, and no one helped." You respond with, "Well, you should tell him that's not fair," or, "Next time, just say no." You think you're helping, but what she hears is, "He's not listening to how I feel. He's just trying to move on." Here's the fix. When she's venting, pause before you respond. Instead of giving a solution, acknowledge her feelings. Say, "That sounds really frustrating," or, "I can see why that would get to you." Let her know you understand what she's feeling before you try to fix anything. Most of the time, she'll relax, open up more, and feel comforted just by being understood. The second way to make your wife feel heard is to give her your full attention. This might sound simple, but it's one of the biggest things women complain about. Too many conversations happen while we're half distracted scrolling through the phone, watching TV, or thinking about something else. You might be listening, but your focus is divided. And to her, that feels like disinterest. Think about it. When you were dating, she had your full attention. You looked her in the eyes, leaned in, listened like every word mattered. That kind of attention makes a woman feel valued and respected. Now, you don't need to drop everything every time she talks. But when the conversation matters, when she's opening up or talking about something emotional, put the phone down, make eye contact, and really be there. Even if you only have 5 minutes, give her all 5 minutes. Presence communicates love in a way words can't. A practical tip here. When she starts talking, turn your body toward her. That simple physical gesture tells her, "You have my focus. I'm here." The third way to make your wife feel heard is to repeat or reflect back what she says. This might sound like something you'd hear in therapy, but it works. Reflecting what she says shows that you're not just hearing words, you're actually processing and understanding them. For example, if she says, "I feel like I'm doing everything around here and no one notices," instead of saying, "That's not true," try saying, "You feel like you're carrying a lot and no one's appreciating you." That one sentence changes the entire dynamic. It validates her experience, even if you don't fully agree. Here's why this works. When people feel heard, they don't have to keep repeating themselves. But when they feel misunderstood, they'll keep talking louder or longer, trying to get through. Reflecting her words shows her she's already been heard, which lowers tension and creates connection. And if you're worried it'll sound robotic or forced, don't overthink it. Just use your own words. The goal isn't to copy her, it's to show her you get what she's saying. The fourth way to make your wife feel heard is to control your defensiveness. This one's tough for a lot of men. When she brings up something emotional, especially if it sounds like criticism, it's easy to get defensive. You might interrupt, explain, or start arguing your side. But when you do that, even if you're right, she stops feeling heard. Here's an example. She says, "You don't spend much time with me anymore." Your instinct might be to fire back, "That's not true. I was home all weekend." You're defending yourself, but what she hears is, "He's not listening. He's just trying to prove me wrong." Instead, take a breath and look for the emotion behind her words. She's not necessarily attacking you, she's expressing a need. In that moment, she's really saying, I miss you. So respond to the feeling, not the accusation. Say, I didn't realize you've been feeling that way. I don't want you to feel like you're not important to me. That kind of response disarms tension and turns conflict into connection. A practical tip: when you start to feel defensive, stop and ask yourself, what is she really trying to tell me? Most of the time, it's not about the details. It's about her need for reassurance, attention, or understanding. The fifth way to make your wife feel heard is to follow up later. This one separates the good listeners from the great ones. Listening in the moment is powerful, but remembering and following up shows her you truly care. If she told you she was stressed about work, ask her the next day, hey, how did that project go? If she mentioned feeling tired, check in later and say, did you get a chance to rest? These small follow-ups tell her that her words didn't go in one ear and out the other. They show that you value what she says enough to remember it. And here's the bonus effect. Following up builds emotional trust. It tells her, I'm paying attention to your world. That kind of consistency builds a stronger connection over time than any grand romantic gesture ever could. Now, let's recap the 5 ways husbands can make their wives feel heard. Number 1, listen without fixing. She wants understanding, not solutions. Number 2, give her your full attention. Presence is the language of love. Number 3, reflect what she says. It shows you truly understand her feelings. Number 4, control your defensiveness. Respond to the emotion, not the accusation. And number 5, follow up later. Remembering and checking in shows lasting care. These 5 habits might sound simple, but don't underestimate them. When a woman feels heard, she feels safe. And when she feels safe, she opens up. That's when connection, respect, and intimacy start to grow again. The truth is, your wife doesn't expect you to have all the answers. She just wants to know that you care enough to understand her world. She wants to know that when she talks, you're really listening not to respond, but to connect. When you start showing her that kind of attention and empathy, everything changes. The tension fades, the walls come down, and your home starts to feel peaceful again. Because when a woman feels heard by her husband, she feels loved. So ask yourself this of these 5 habits. Which one do you need to work on first? Like, comment, and subscribe to Stronger Together for more marriage and relationship advice for men. Because when you grow stronger in how you listen, your marriage grows stronger too, and that's what being a great husband is all about.